Good Monday makers, it's time for another community build roundup. In this week's episode, we're going to be checking out some garden trellises, a mini greenhouse, a storage shelf, some car show banner frames, and a camper cargo rack. All kinds of great builds as always. Let's jump right in and check them out. First up are these awesome trellises from Darren, and these are some really great ideas as you get ready to garden this spring. As you can see here, he's got 3 garden beds and he built trellises for 2 of them. Don't know if he plans to do a third one or not, but the 2 that he's built so far are awesome, as we can see here, and I like the 2 different designs that he has. The first one, he said, is made for tomatoes, and it's basically, I usually call this like a single panel design. It's just 3 verticals, and he's got some cross supports connected with crossover clamps, which is really interesting, and that kind of offsets the pipes a bit. And then he's got some T-connectors at the top here, as you can see, to connect the horizontal pipe at the very top to the vertical supports. And then we don't see exactly how it's attached to the bed, but it's usually pretty simple. If you want to just secure it to the bed directly, you can use 2-hole straps or 1-hole straps. Typically, if it's like a single panel trellis like this, I think it works best to get a stake and then hammer that into the ground and then slide the conduit over and then do a 1-hole or 2-hole strap on top of that if you want it to be super secure and strong. But, you know, there's a few different methods that you can do for that. Next up, this trellis that he built. I like this design a lot, and it's really cool. And basically, he just used T-connectors at the top here, kind of angled on this horizontal pipe, and kind of just makes a very slim A-frame design, which is really smart and something that we haven't really seen a lot of, but makes a lot of sense and is a really good idea for trellising. And basically, the back vertical is secured to the back of the garden bed, and then the front goes all the way up here. And like I said, it's just angled all the way up to the top like an A. And then he's got some chicken wire or some sort of hardware cloth or something secured to the framework to give the plant something to grab onto. And I think he says he's going to have different plants in this trellis. But really great ideas, really awesome job. Thanks so much for sharing this, Darren. We love seeing it. Next up is a mini greenhouse from Daniel. And I think this is one that he already had in place. Very simple, just this garden bed here with 3 arches. And if you want to do this entire thing out of EMT Conduit, we have a calculator that I'll link down below and a video that shows you how to use just a handheld pipe and tube bender for making incremental bends and arches like this. But basically, I think he already had these 3 arches in place and then just picked up some of the maker pipe T connectors to add some cross supports from between the 3 hoops there, just to kind of add some extra support. And this is just meant to be a greenhouse for the plants he has grown inside. Really simple and kind of a smaller project, but a really great idea if you want to do some frost protection or some greenhousing of some garden beds that you have. So thanks so much for sharing this. Really appreciate it. Next up is a storage shelf from David, and this is awesome. He said they had kind of a screen room, or is it not really screen room, I guess. I've heard it called different things, but basically just had like a room on a porch that really didn't have anything, enclosing it, but then they added a glass wall and a roof. And so they wanted to build some storage in here, but since it's such a small space, wanted to go vertical with the storage and basically just built a custom shelf, as you can see here. The dimensions fit the room perfectly, and it's got all kinds of different things. You can see some wooden shelves. It's also open in some areas so the plants can go through and grow up. He's got all kinds of different things just stored in here, kind of just a catch-all storage solution. I see some crutches in there, and just a great place just for extra storage. You can never have too much storage in your house, so really cool. See a mixture of all kinds of connectors, some 180s, some 4-way connectors, some 90-degree connectors to make corner connections in some places, a CT connectors. He's got this shelf that kind of extends and hangs over this area here. So just all kinds of great techniques and things incorporated into this to make an all-in-one storage solution. So really cool, David. Thanks so much for sharing this. We love seeing it. Next up are these car show banner frames, and these come from Adrian. This is really cool. It said they had quite a bit of Corvettes here worth a lot of money, and they were at a car show and wanted to kind of create a fake car lot that you drive up to, and kind of the classic car lot that you'd picture in your mind. And they wanted to make basically just a frame that goes all the way around the outside. They can hang some different things off of, which is what they did. And they used, I think, 1/2-inch EMT conduit, or it looks like a mixture of 3/4 inch and 1/2-inch, which if you don't know, we have the connectors for 3/4 inch, and then we have adapters for 1/2-inch EMT conduit, and you can mix and match those, as you can see here. So basically 3/4 inch is used in the bottom of the T, but the top of the T has a adapter shim and then 1/2-inch EMT. So you can kind of do that to mix and match and, save some money on conduit. And then they've got some some 45-degree bracing in the corners, which is really good. A great thing. You don't want anything falling on the cars. That was my biggest worry with this project whenever he first called and asked about it. But looks like it's working great, and they've just got some lightweight, kind of streamers hanging off of the frame, but it goes all the way around. I think it's like 100 foot by 50 foot, if I remember correctly, but a really cool project and really awesome that he was able to use conduit and maker pipe. Looks like they got some kind of bases at the bottom of the vertical poles. I don't know if those are, custom made or exactly what those are, but really cool and a really good idea to kind of stabilize the whole structure, and just a really awesome project all the way around. So thanks so much. Really appreciate you sharing this. Last but not least is a project from Hope, and this is really awesome. She built a cargo rack for her camper, and basically, as you can see here, they had a few brackets here on the camper. I forget what they said it was used for, maybe like a bike rack or something, but basically just drilled holes in the conduit in their project and then ran some bolts through the conduit and through those existing brackets to basically make a storage kind of cargo rack here, kind of elevates above some other things they have on the camper. And they just used, it looks like 1/2-inch EMT conduit, and they curved and made kind of an arch or kind of, bends in the corner with a flat front. It's kind of a common bend that you'll see in projects, and then just some vertical pipes going down to that other bracket. And then here you can see they've got something sitting on top of it and strapped down, and just adds another cargo area for hauling stuff on their camper on the road trips, which is really awesome. Like I said earlier, inside of a house you can't have too much storage, and you definitely can't have too much storage when you're in a smaller space and you're on the road and need to carry as much stuff as possible. So really cool. Thanks so much everybody for sharing your projects. All of these will be linked down below if you want to check any of them in more detail. Thanks everybody for watching. We'll see you in the next video.